It's been a boring week, which is what we need sometimes. Hi, and welcome to Quilt Meets World, where we have adventures in piecing and joy. I'm Russ, coming into my sewing room. I think the most exciting thing that happened this week was I got to half meet my new neighbors. I may have said before, my next door neighbors decided to move down to Florida for a while. Something about being closer to one of their parents and that. I guess the parents not doing too well, so that's why it's like a temporary move. I'm not reading into any of that. But during their absence, they decided that they will just rent their house out so it just doesn't sit empty for an unknown period of time. And based on the lease length, it's going to be a bit. Early last week, though, a few folks were outside over there on the back deck while there was a puppy downstairs doing, puppy business. It was like, I'm going to say 9:15 or so, because it was while Riley and I went out to do, Riley's evening routine, whatever you want to call that. And I saw there was a puppy and everything. I was like, ooh, is a puppy moving in next door? And I didn't really get a response. I tried to wave and stuff, but it's dark, 9 o'clock dark. And, it was crazy. Riley's just sitting like, hey, I want to say hi to everybody, but, dark, can't see anything. So I just decided to, chalk up a lack of response to either they didn't really hear me or they didn't really want to talk to a stranger in the dark. I get that. Or plain old rudeness. Who knew? But on Friday, when my workday was almost over, I happened to peek out the window and I saw 5 people and a puppy outside. And I was like, ooh, maybe it's them. So I ran downstairs, went out back, and was like, ooh, can I meet the new neighbors? And found out that the guy was there and he's renting it with his girlfriend, who he mentioned by name. And then the other 3 people were a combination of their parents. There was 2 moms and a dad, and I just don't know who each mom belonged to and who the dad belonged to. Doesn't really matter to me because, that. They were just there helping do the U-Haul unloading and all that. So we chatted for a few minutes just to give them a little bit of break from unloading. And then it got to the point where it's like, okay, you guys need to finish unloading and I need to get back to work because I still had another meeting scheduled and stuff. So I actually got to say that I met one of them. He is a super nice guy and everything. I still haven't met the girlfriend, but Riley got to meet the guy as well. Yesterday evening, I went out back with Riley when I got home from work, and he was pulling up in the driveway after Riley was done with her business. And she just sat there like, I want to meet him. I want to meet him. I want to meet him. And when she's there being polite and everything else, it's like, I don't know if I want to say no. So he got out of the car and I was like, Riley wants to come meet you. So we got out, I had her on her leash. We went out over there and said, hi, how you doing? Riley got to meet him. And, he thought that she's a total sweetheart, which we all know is true. Hopefully I will get to meet the girlfriend soon. But, they're going to be here for a while, so there's no point in quite rushing it. As for some quilty stuff, Saturday was Saturday Sampler, and I got up super early to go there because, I get there for the 8:30 a.m. session because, otherwise I may not make it back for my live. I got there and everything, and I was like, ooh, donut shop. And because, they got the really good donuts next door. I got myself a cinnamon roll Saturday morning, and a chocolate milk. That's the word. And I was like, I wonder if I should get the new neighbors a dozen donuts. And in my mind, math wasn't mathing. And I was like, I'm going to get home too early, and I don't want them sitting around and then bumping into my life. So I was just like, they're not getting donuts. Well, whatevs. And I totally didn't do math right, because I got home just after 10 somehow, which still doesn't make sense how that worked. Oh, because Saturday Sampler ran late and all that. So I could have gotten them donuts and that. So I was like, next time I'm up that way, I'll grab them donuts and be good. Anyway, though, at the Saturday Sampler, they were going through all the new stuff that they normally do, and they showed us a teaser of the next Saturday Sampler program. At my local shop, they start a Saturday Sampler program in January, generally. And then they will generally start one in like June or July, depending on when they get it started and stuff. So they usually have 2 sets of programs going on, and I've been just doing one set because I only have time to do one with everything else that I've been doing. And they're doing another block of the month into their program. And they showed us the first block and a picture of potentially the finished quilt. And that's an important distinction right now. So we're kind of excited. All the blocks are granny squares or granny square variants. I don't know if I've done a granny square block yet. Doesn't really sound familiar, but it's just squares on point. I've made on point quilts, so I'm not overly concerned and everything else. The odd thing is, it is a 10-month block of the month from what we were looking at, but their Saturday Sampler programs are usually 12 months. So we don't know exactly how that's going to work yet. So it could just be they add 2 more blocks and finish it differently. We got to figure that out, what's going on. But anyway, I did sign up for it, and I've started doing research to see if I could find the pattern somewhere, since it is an official block of the month. And I did find it and everything else. So I will probably be sharing all of that out next month sometime, just so that anybody who might be interested in joining in can have the option to go buy the pattern and buy fabric, because it's not a block of the month program that's currently being done by any quilt shops. So that would be the only way that people can join in with this if y'all are interested. Like I said, I will find something later that will tell us everything that is for it. But you might see a little sneak about it in a couple minutes. So keep your eyes peeled just in case. At the end of the session, I went to go pick up my Kona block of the month. And yeah, a little bit of amusing. They handed me my little envelope thing. Not this one, but one like it. And I'm like, something's missing here. It had my charm pack for the Kona block of the month, but they did not have the pattern in there, which, that's kind of important to do. They obviously were apologizing and everything. I'm giggling because I'm like, of course it's mine. And they were like, we don't know how it happened. I could have translated the pattern from the picture because it's all half square triangles with Kona block of the month. But I still want my pattern cards because if I want to make this again, I want to remember what the patterns are. They went to the back, grabbed me my pattern card and everything, and all was right with the world. So I was, happy. I wouldn't have thrown a big fit. I would just said, you got to give me my card before, soon. After I got home and realized I could have given them donuts, but didn't, I came into here, and for my 11sies live, I worked on the heartbeat pattern, which is this. It's a pattern from Villa Rosa, from some fabrics that my sister had picked out while she was here visiting. I had everything prepped for it, and beforehand, so Friday night I had gotten the layout done, layout settled and everything, so I had everything in a single pile, so I can just run everything through the machine here and get through it pretty quickly because, it's an easy pattern when all you're doing is lining squares up together. I was so prepped with everything that I managed to get the entire quilt center together, sewn completely together in that hour we were live. So I was kind of excited. I've done a little bit similar, except the blocks are a little bit smaller. Not much, though. And there was a couple more. So I knew it was feasible that I would have been able to get the entire quilt put together in that time frame. And after live, I brought it upstairs. I got it pressed, and now all it just needs is a couple borders. It has an inner border and an outer border to be put on it. I have the inner border stuff cut, and I have the cornerstones on the outer border. I just haven't cut the outer border pieces, which they don't need to be pieced. It should be able to be finished from a single cut of outer border fabric. So those will be very easy to get put together once I have, about 30 seconds to get them cut and clipped in a row, because we all know my OCD with borders. And Sunday, I started prepping for next week's live. Yep, you heard that right. I'm actually kind of prepared right now for this one. But now isn't quite the time to reveal those details. Give it a couple minutes. The rest of the week was, standard blah, work blah, 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 blah. Except I'm kind of annoyed to find out that vouchers that we were told don't expire actually do. So now that these vouchers are expired, I'm kind of trying to figure out what's going to happen with the whole trying to see Wicked for Good thing. Because, yeah. Anyway, how was your week? Was it just as exciting as mine? Let me know. just like a lot hadn't happened this past week, I don't have a lot planned for this coming week. It is the week before Thanksgiving, and I'm not cooking or anything, so I don't have to plan all of that. So I was just planning on trying to chill as much as I can. The holidays get a little hectic, and just relax with what I can. On Saturday, though, I do have something planned already for my live. I said it, a handful of times. Most of the time, I either don't have anything fully planned, or I have like a list of like 3 or 4 things that I might do. The only times that it's really been planned is if I'm doing a continuation of the previous week. I'm not doing a continuation of the previous week. What I am going to be working on is the third of the commission quilts from my sister. The pattern that we'll be working on this week is called Bolero, and it's a Villarosa Designs pattern. The fabric choices, they were a kit that my sister saw while I was up in Massachusetts this past May. So the fabrics are fabrics that were chosen by the quilt shop. They are batiks, but that's all I know about them because, batiks don't have written selvages that let you know what it is. So no idea about that, but I will tell you that they look gorgeous together. And if you were a careful eye, you might have seen something. The pattern itself takes 6 half-yard cuts or 12 matching fat quarters. And I'm kind of looking at this, and you could probably do this maybe with a handful of like 6 different fat quarters. But now that I'm really thinking about it, probably not. At least not with, or you can do a 12 not matching, but you wouldn't be able to make it the block method. You would have to do it a different type of, what is that word? Bargello. That's the word. So you could probably make something similar. You would just have to do it a completely different way. That sounds too much like work to me. So, 12 matching fat quarters or 6 half-yard cuts. I am putting the link to the pattern down below, and it's also going to be in Saturday's live link if you are interested in joining. It would be fun if you did join me, because gives you a little bit of relaxation before the Thanksgiving craziness starts to happen. I can tell you I'm not going to have the full quilt done on my live, not even the full center. So I will be able to taking the afternoon, and I'm going to join my friend Steven of The Idiot Quilter over on his pop-up sew day and finish what I can, whether it'll be finishing the quilt that I'm going to be starting on my live, whether it be putting borders on one of the previous 2 quilts or something else. Basically, a lot of stuff that needs to be added to my to be quilted list, which is about to hit critical mass. Yeah, I need to get working on my long arm. It's just, I can't spend time here and there at the same time, and I'm having more fun in here right now. So, yeah. Plus, I don't think Riley likes the sound of the long arm. She likes to run upstairs while it's running. So, yeah, the easiest times are when she's at daycare, and yeah, I'm working when she's at daycare. So, yeah, I got to figure out a better time to get all that figured out, or get her less bothered by the sound of the long arm. Anywho, I think that is going to be about it for today. Sharing my shenanigans with you is the highlight of my week. I mean, what else am I going to do? Help the neighbors unpack? Yeah, no, that ain't happening. And I haven't quite decided yet if they'll be quilt worthy yet. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to support my channel. It's the easiest way to get YouTube to suggest me out to other folks. All the interaction that you do just helps, the algorithm and everything. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and an awesome week. Until next time, stay happy and remember, always measure your life in love.